Okay, we're going to continue working on our game here. We're going to add a new feature to the jetpack and some sound effects. I do want to note that I just upgraded to Blender, the newest version of Blender, which at the time right now is 2.49b or 2.492. And should have done this before I started all my tutorials, because a lot of the changes they've made in the current version are to the game engine, but luckily so far everything I've done seems to be working in the newer version of Blender, and the sound seems to be working. Previous versions of Blender tended to have issues with playing sounds not quite right, and they seem to have got it down now. Sounds seem to be working all right. So let's get right into it. What I'd like to do is set it so the jetpack runs out of fuel after a little bit. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to select our player here, and we're going to make ourselves a little more room right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to find, you see jump here, and then where it connects down here is where the jetpack comes into play. So we should actually probably name this property jetpack. And you should get in the routine of naming these sensors, because you can see you can keep adding stuff and it can get a little confusing. And what we're going to do is we're going to change this where it says if it equals 1, if jet equals 1, we're going to say if it does not equal 0. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to go into this jump option when we hit spacebar. We're going to turn on this active true levels trigger, and we're going to change this the frame rate to 10. And what that's going to do is that's going to help in a minute here. You'll see us subtract from the variable. So we also want to change this property here where we set the jet to 1. Let's change that to 10. See how well that works. And now we're going to go and we're going to add a property, and we're going to set the property of jet equal to jet minus 1. So basically when we pick up the jetpack over here, it's going to set the value for the player of jet to 10, and then every 10 frames subtract 1 until we get back to 0. So let's do that. We need to make one other change. Is on this jetpack we need to change that sensor to say when not equal to 0. That way you'll see the jetpack. If we don't do that, the jetpack will be invisible. If I did everything properly, we can hit P, go over here, pick up the jetpack, and hit spacebar, and there you go. After a little bit it runs out. May want to make it a little bit longer than that. We'll change this 10 value to 0, or to 0. We'll add a 0, make it 100, and while we're at it, we're going to add another item over here, and we're going to change the motion to sound. Now it tells you if you don't have any sounds loaded into your Blender file already, it says please hit F10, which is also the same as going to your little icon here for scene, and then your fourth icon here kind of looks like a little wave. It says sound block button when you click on it. We click on here and we say open sound, and we're going to choose a wave. Currently it doesn't seem like MP3s work. I haven't tried OGG files, but wave work. You can press play. This is just a sound that I found online. I'm going to hit this package button here to package it into the file, so that way it's added to the Blender file. It doesn't have to look for it in a directory anywhere. I don't know how to stop the sound, but it will stop in a little bit. As far as the game goes, we're going to add it here, and you have the option for play, stop, and a whole bunch of little options. For this, we do want it as the play stop, which means when you let go of the space bar, it will stop playing the sound. So we connect that. We're going to hit P. We're going to go over here. We're going to hit space bar. And you can see if I let go and press it again, it starts the sound over again. You know, and if we held it long enough for till the value of 100 gets down to 0, the jetpack will disappear as it did just a little bit ago. There we go. I'm going to hit escape, And we're going to add some other sounds while we're at it. I'm going to click on our empty object in front of the gun here that generates the bullets. I'm going to add sound and connect this. I'm going to go back into our scene window here and select wave, and I'm going to open a new wave. And obviously you would want to grab a sound effect of a gun that you would have. I don't have one currently available for me. You can find them online though. I'm just going to go in here and grab a cymbal sound that I have from a drum kit, so it's going to be sounding like a cymbal when we shoot the gun. And we're going to choose that here in our logic editor. And right now it's set to play stop. What we want is play end. That means it will continue the sound, so it will play the full sound regardless of what happens. So now, and you can obviously change the pitch and the speed of that if you wanted. What we're going to do now is let's grab this box here, and we're going to add on collision, and let's go into our second layer here by hitting 2 and select our bullet and give it a property called bullet. So that way we can go back by hitting 1 to layer 1 and choose this cube, and we can say on collision with something that has a property of bullet. So whenever it touches anything with a property that has that, which right now is our bullet, we're going to play a sound, and I'll just grab the cymbal sound, but I'm going to lower the pitch of it way down. Looks like 12 is the lowest I can go. That might be a little too low. And we're going to play to end on that as well. So we're going to come here and we're going to shoot that cube. If I can zero in on it. Oh, and it should have made the sound. Might be too low of a pitch. Let's raise that up to maybe 5. And while we're at it, we're going to delete these other cubes, and let's just Shift D and clone that cube on the x-axis there. So we'll hit P, and there. It did make the sound when I hit them. Let's change that sound so it doesn't sound like the bullets as much. We'll go back in here. We'll open a new. I'll go into where I have some other sounds, and I'll just pick snare drum because that's the sound I have. And in here we're going to change that to snare, and we'll lower the pitch a little bit on that. Let's hit P. So you heard the difference when I hit the cube. It was a lower pitch sound. Now that we have that, we can Shift D and x-axis that, and Shift D, bring that up there, and now we can press play. And actually, I think if we actually make this a loop end, it'll make the gun sound. Nope, still sounds the same. There should be a way to speed that up. Let's see. Maybe loop ping pong. Just play around with these options. Like I said, the sound feature is kind of new to me because it didn't work for me in the previous version of Blender. I really would like it to sound a little bit faster there. So maybe we do loop stop. That's a little bit better. So you can play around with that, but right now we've got sounds in our games here, and that's the end of this tutorial. Hope it helps out. I think it's nice having the feature where the jetpack actually runs out of fuel and doesn't go forever. In an actual game you would want that. And sounds are a nice thing to add. Like I said, you can go online and find sound effects, gun sound effects and stuff. Just check Creative Commons sites and free sound effects sites. So, thank you for watching. Visit filmsbychris.com for more videos and tutorials.